Hi, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on the time of day that you are watching this session. My name is Christy Heaton, and I am one of the admissions officers at the full-time programs at Kellogg. And I am so excited to be sharing with all of you today some of the things. I have no way of covering everything, but some of the things that make Kellogg so special. We won't have an opportunity in this session to answer questions, but there are so many different ways to engage with admissions and our student community. So my hope with this session today is merely to give you a high-level overview of all the wonderful things that make Kellogg unique and special, just to sort of scratch the surface and then allow you as an applicant to go on and research further and chat with students to really get those detailed questions that you may have or the things that you're most interested in to really be able to dive into from here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to kind of address and chat about is probably the most basic, but the most important and the most often asked question that we get is, why Kellogg? I truly believe, and I think as a school, we truly believe that the value of an MBA is more important today than it ever has been. We all know what's been happening in the world with the pandemic and kind of all the extreme situations that we've been living in. And we believe that the world needs more Kellogg leaders, and that Kellogg prepares and trains our students to become the leaders that the world needs, to have the agility to work through disruption and to really lead with empathy and innovation and creativity. And they all have this dedication and the commitment to the community, which is really extraordinary and unique. I tend to think of there being kind of three things that distinguish Kellogg and yield these remarkable leaders of ours. The first being that Kellogg is a place that really spurs innovation. This past year alone has been a true testament of that, how we've been able to be flexible and innovate the ways that we are teaching and working with students. And it's really reinforcing this legacy of forward thinking that we have here at Kellogg. The second is the commitment to collaboration. At Kellogg, we recognize that our achievements are far greater than any one leader can accomplish alone. And we have an unwavering commitment to building diverse teams to spark new ideas, to strengthen talent, and create those lasting bonds, which are so important in your program. And then finally is this kind of eye toward empathy, right? I think it's really outstanding, and it's part of the reasons I love working at Kellogg and being a part of this community is that our Kellogg leaders are really trying to deliver and drive meaningful impact, and that they are eager to contribute to their communities and for the greater good. They recognize that living in this world and going through this experience and going out and working in the workplace, that there's more to it than just your individual self and your individual needs. So I think those are kind of the top three things that we tend to see evident not only within our community and our students, but they're also really at the foundation of everything that we do. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the portfolio of programs. So we have one MBA that we deliver. We have one degree, it's an MBA, but we have a bunch of different programs for you to opt into, right? So it's kind of choose your own path, choose what fits best for you and what works for you based on where you are in your career and what you need out of your MBA experience. We have a one-year MBA program, which is an accelerated program for candidates who've typically completed business-related degrees before enrolling and have focused their career goals. Really, you're probably pretty narrowed in and tuned in to what it is you want to be doing after your MBA. The students bypass some of the core courses. They take electives that support their professional goals. The program begins in June and ends in June. We tend to talk about this being a career accelerator program. So typically students are doing major career shifts. When our career management center talks about a career search, they talk about it being a three-legged stool. You have the industry you're working in, the functional area that you're working in, and then the location that you're working in. With the one-year program, we like to say you can change one of those things pretty easily, right? I love my job and what I'm doing, but I really want to do it somewhere else. Or I love the role that I have and I want to do it at a higher level, but in a totally different industry. Those are reasonable pivots in the one-year program. If you're trying to really blow up your career and do something radically different, it's really hard to do that from the one-year program because you do not have that summer internship experience to help boost you in your career search. So it tends to be more for people who are kind of honed in on their career path, probably not making a major change and want to do the MBA in just 1 year. Next is the 2-year program, which is what most everybody is familiar with when they think about doing an MBA. It's really designed for traditional and non-traditional applicants, for career accelerators and career switchers, right? It really gives full flexibility to explore a variety of interests and disciplines while developing those strong management and leadership skills that we talked about earlier. It's a quarter system, so our students will have 3 quarters in their first year, summer internship between first and second year, and then come back for 3 final quarters in their second year. The next 2 are our dual degree programs. So that means you're getting 2 degrees while you're doing this program. The Triple M program is really designed for people who are interested in kind of design thinking, design innovation. It's really a strong balance of using right brain and left brain thinking. Students in this program will get their Master of Science in Design Innovation from the Siegel Design Institute at the McCormick School of Engineering. I know it's a mouthful, and their MBA. They will take classes at the design school as a Triple M cohort, so with just their Triple M peers, and those classes are only for Triple M students. On the Kellogg side, they are fully integrated with the Kellogg overall student body. So you are taking classes in the Triple M program. On the Kellogg side, with 2-year, 1-year JD MBA, you're really mixed in and have that full Kellogg experience. Students in this program tend to have interest again in design thinking, design consulting, design innovation type roles, product manager, product marketing roles, but they can go anywhere they want. All of the career management opportunities are available for Triple M students. The next is the JD MBA program. So the JD MBA program, again, is a fully integrated, you're getting your full law degree, your JD, and your full MBA in 3 years, as opposed to 5 if you did them separately. Very high level, your first year is at the law school, second year at Kellogg, third year most all back at the law school. On average, we see about half of our students going business and half of our students going into law. It's a great program, lots of good benefits to doing kind of both degrees at the same time in 3 years. And then last is our MBAI program, which is our newest program to the portfolio. It's an accelerated degree option that focuses really on the intersection of management and technical experience. It offers a custom design and blended coursework, which combines business strategy and then technology. This program is really meant for students looking to lead organizations, finding competitive advantages through the strategic use of technology. It's fast-paced, it's 5 quarters, and it does include an industry immersion component to it. Okay, so why do I start with that? Your job as the applicant is to pick one of these programs, right? Which one resonates most with you? What fits best and aligns best with your career interests and career goals? After that, you're going to apply to that program, and the experience that you have at Kellogg is by and large going to be the same Kellogg experience. I think the first thing that we want to talk about when we think about your Kellogg experience is, first and foremost, your academics. You're coming to enrich your mind, to take classes and be involved in the academic experience. So it's important that we talk about it. I think there's a few things that I want to highlight here. First is there's really ultimate flexibility for our students within the coursework. We are a general management program, and so our students will complete a general management core curriculum. This is really important to us. It's part of the foundation of what we teach and how we teach it. No matter where you go in the business world, we want to make sure that you understand kind of the core components of how businesses run and work. And so you're going to take that foundational kind of core curriculum. Students complete that core at different levels depending on course waivers and what your past experience might have been. Outside of that core, however, no 2 students pick the same classes at Kellogg. I like to think of our curriculum as a big choose your own adventure or a big Mad Lib, right? The core curriculum is kind of your foundational story. And then you have all of these blanks that you're going to fill in to choose your own adventure. And all of our students have different strengths and weaknesses and passions and areas that they want to go work in. And so no two students are going to fill in those blanks in the same way. And that's what I love about the curriculum here, is the flexibility that it allows our students to have in filling their baskets in very different ways based on the individual. We do have majors. So majors allow you to do a deep dive experience into one particular area. They are in our academic departments. To get a major, it's the core class plus 4 more. We also have pathways. I've heard pathways described by people as kind of tour guides or travel guides to a topic or an area. What the pathways essentially do is they take a look at the overall curriculum. So when there's over 200 electives to be picking from, it can get sort of overwhelming to understand, gosh, if I want to get smart in data analytics and do this after school, what classes should I be taking? So we're trying to take some of the guesswork out of that with the pathways and trying to allow you as the applicant or the student to really understand, if you want to gain basic understanding of data analytics, here's the level of classes we suggest you take. You don't have to take all of them. If you want intermediate knowledge of data analytics, here's the next list of classes we suggest you take. If you want to go all in on data analytics and have the most advanced knowledge, here's the last layer of classes we would suggest you add on. You can pursue a major and a pathway. You can pursue just pathways, or you can pursue any classes you want. It's really up to you. Okay. That was a lot of information on majors and pathways and academics. I hope if you have more questions, you kind of dig in deep and chat further with current students to understand all the amazing experiential learning courses that they can take advantage of. There's so many that we haven't even hit on here, but I would encourage you to go deeper on learning about the academics. Okay. So the next part I want to talk about is really the culture and the opportunities that are available to students. So academics is kind of foundational. Everybody coming here wants to learn and grow and expand their minds. What starts setting schools apart is really kind of what that experience on campus is going to be like, and what is the culture and the community surrounding you. So I mentioned earlier, innovation, collaboration, and empathy are at our core. So those are kind of just foundational. But I think what you'll tend to hear is a lot of students describe our students as being low ego, high impact. And I love that idea of they are bright and rigorous and competitive, but there are no sharp elbows. Everybody kind of comes in and sets their egos aside, right? It's really about coming to Kellogg, working your hardest, doing your best, and being a part of a community, lifting your fellow classmates up when they're struggling with either a topic in school or they need assistance in their career search. It really is about the community that you're a part of. It's giving back your time to the Evanston community and volunteering. It's giving back your time to take on leadership roles in some of the student clubs and organizations we have so that you can help put on an amazing program for your peers. There's a really wide range of diversity at Kellogg. About 35% of our students come from abroad. 25% of our professors were born and raised abroad. There's many different religious components and interests and industries that people are coming from. Diversity at Kellogg is and has been for a long time fully embraced and a big part of your experience here. So lots to enjoy and get involved in. The other thing that I won't go into tremendous depth here, but I would encourage you to look into further, is where we're located. We're in Evanston, which is the first suburb north of the city of Chicago. And we like to say we have the best of both worlds, the ability to get into Chicago quickly. On average, our students are going in once or twice a month, but also the benefit of living within a community and being able to walk back and forth to campus and live in the same community as all of your peers in the program. So I'd encourage you to talk about Evanston with some current students. Okay, while you think about, okay, this is great. I'm going to come to school. I want to get an education. Check, going to get an education. I want to come to school and I want to be involved and in this great community. Check, you're going to have that here. I always encourage our applicants to think even further, right? It's not just the 2 years or the 1 year or the 3 years you're in the program. It's a lifetime community. And so you want to make sure that you're joining a community that you're going to continue to feel connected to and passionate for. I like to say it's not just that 65,000 strong that's important, but it's the connectivity of that network. My husband is an alum of the program, and I have been amazed time and time again about the connections he continues to make, the friendships that he has carried with him since his day of graduation, how easy it is for him to find another Kellogg alum and strike up a conversation like they are fast friends and known each other for years. So I think it's important to think not only about what your experience is going to be like while you're in the program, but what's the community going to be like when you finish the program. Always important to think about, you're coming to expand your mind, to be a part of a community, to grow. What's that next job going to look like for you? 95% of our graduates are receiving their job offer within 3 months of graduation. Our Career Management Center approaches the career search in a similar way to education. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. They meet each student where they are in their process. They have all of the workshops and classes and things that you would need to get yourself ready, mock interviews, cover letter writing, elevator pitch workshops, right? So they're going to have all the resources that are there for you to prepare for your job search. And it's up to you as an individual to take advantage of the things that you think you need for your job search to be successful. As you can see from kind of data that's released each year, our students are going to positions across all different industries, and they are also going all over the globe. I think there's a fear sometimes that people have of, if I come to Chicago, am I ever going to get out? The answer is, yeah, a good number of our students stay in the Midwest. Some of that is because they knew they wanted to stay in the Midwest after graduation, and so they chose to come here. Chicago's home. There's another fraction of people who come to Chicago and they're like, this place is amazing, and I just got my great job, and I'm staying put. But the majority of students are going all over the country and all over the world. So again, when you think of your job search and that three-legged stool, you just think about location as one of those factors and where you want to go. All the companies on the West Coast and East Coast are coming to Chicago to recruit for Kellogg students. Okay, high level, taking a look at your application and what this process looks like. We are asked so many times, what does Kellogg value in its applicants? You know, what are you looking for? And so we went through an exercise a couple years ago to try to put together what we value in individuals. And I think this list is so outstanding, and it makes this amazing person with these amazing values. And I think sometimes people think, I'm not all of that. Like, am I ever going to get in? I don't have all of that. No. You absolutely can be somebody who may not have all of this stuff done, right? But do you aspire to it? Do you want to approach problems with a mix of intellect and creativity? Do you want to partner and work with other people? Do you want to build diversity in your networks, right? You may not have all of this stuff right now, but are these things that resonate with you and you aspire to? That's really what we're trying to answer and look for. It is a fully comprehensive review process and evaluation process. We are really looking at your entire application. It usually has several reads on it, so multiple looks on the application to make our final decision, to make sure we have multiple perspectives in the application and that we're seeing everything through multiple viewpoints and vantage points. I'm not going to take the time in this session to go through the nitty-gritty of what we look for and how we evaluate. There are other sessions for that. So if you are applying, I would encourage you to go ahead and watch some of those other sessions or attend another future event. Okay, so lastly, engage with us. Hopefully this was a great high-level overview and I piqued your interest. If you're still with me at minute 19, thank you for sticking with me. There's lots of ways to engage. There's other admission sessions, student chats. Make sure you're checking our website constantly and frequently for different events that we'll be hosting, especially as campus continues to open up after the pandemic. So thank you for joining me for this session. Hopefully it was a good use of time, and best of luck to you in all that lies ahead.